The Illinois State House is broken up into many wonderful smaller districts across the entire state. And today we're here in District 21, which includes parts of Brookfield, LaGrange Park, Berwyn, Summit, to meet with the candidate who wants to be the first Republican for the district in over 3 decades. So let's roll that intro, meet our candidate, and have another great episode of With the Mic. And so welcome into a wonderful, cozy home right here in Riverside, and I'm here with the candidate, state representative for the 21st District of Illinois House, Eric Sue. Eric, thank you so much for joining me on the show.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
And thank you for inviting me to your home. These chairs are really comfy. I'm loving the back support already.
It's all good.
Comfiest location I've interviewed in so far.
Yes.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. I'm good. It's a pleasure to meet you today.
Hey, pleasure to meet you too, sir. I have to ask, because this is all about learning about who the candidate is and what they've been up to and who they are as a person. So can you introduce yourself to the audience, who you are in a short sentence, and who do you think you are as a person?
Awesome. So my name is Eric Sue. I live here in North Riverside, Illinois in District 21. My background is I'm a health fitness coach, and basically I see myself as a candidate here, trying to bring a new voice, trying to bring new energy and new ideas.
Wonderful. And I know you also are a family man, and you want very much to have your family included in this video. So we have Titan Ryland.
Come on, Titan. Ryland, come on over.
As a giant matching family set here.
Come on over
Can you
front.
tell me about these two little guys and how they motivate you as a candidate?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So this first little guy is Ryland. This guy right here is Titan. These guys are my family. My every day I wake up and I think about how I can make them the best kids, and they're very special to me.
Are you purposely pulling at our heartstrings? Is this a plug?
I do want to share with the people that I'm a family man. I think that family is very important, and these guys are really a part of it.
Wonderful. And I know that they helped you film a couple commercials for your own campaign, so these guys have been actively involved in what you've been doing.
Yeah, they walk around with these shirts when I go and canvas, so they're a part of it.
And thank you guys for helping your dad out with his campaign.
Yep.
So.
All right, say hi, say bye.
Say hi and bye.
Hi,
bye. Wonderful.
Awesome, very good. Perfect.
Naturals on camera. Naturals.
Perfect. All right, say hi to Mike, and then we'll say bye.
Hi.
Exit stage right, guys, if you don't mind.
Hi.
Go, go, go.
Oh, right over to Elliot. Right over to Elliot.
Straight.
I think your mom's making French toast. I think that was the word. I'm jealous, but it's adorable.
All right, thanks you guys.
That's adorable. Oh, they're great. Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Wonderful. Well, you talk about your motivations as a family man. You talk about your motivation as a candidate. You talk about your background and a little bit more about you as a fitness trainer. And so this is your first time stepping into the political world, and kind of a divisive time to do so.
Yeah. So I graduated from Purdue University in 1999. Yes, and I graduated with a bachelor's in biological sciences and took that into the fitness world. And ever since 2001, I've been a fitness trainer, helping people lose weight, get in shape. And just a couple of years ago, kind of got more involved with political issues and such. And this was the moment that I thought would be a good time to just get involved.
And so Purdue University, one of a couple of universities in Indiana.
Yes.
Any thoughts on IU?
You know, all schools are great.
All schools are great.
Regardless of where you are at, I think IU has a place in my heart as well because it's an Indiana school. I went to Purdue because I thought it was a great school as well.
Wonderful. And I also know you went to UIC for a short stint at a time there.
Yes.
What was that like coming from, going to Indiana school, learning biology, becoming a fitness trainer, and then coming back here to Chicago? What does Chicago mean to you?
Yeah, I grew up here, was born in Belleville, Illinois, south near St. Louis. But when I came up here in 1976, actually, so I've been here for almost 50 years. It's been a great way for me to learn what really Illinois is about. And so I've learned a lot being in Indiana for my college years, and knowing that Indiana has like all this business going on, and obviously the bear's going over there, maybe things like that, which is okay. I can't say it's the greatest thing, but yeah, it is what it is.
We have a Chicago Bears fan in the background right now, and I'm a huge Bears fan, so
Yeah.
we'll leave that issue for another time.
Yeah.
But
I get it.
But yeah, you've been all over Illinois. You've had a background as a biology fitness trainer. And can you tell me a little bit more about your community-based things? Because I know you've won a couple awards for your volunteer work in the community.
Yeah. A while back ago, I was volunteering for the what was the organization? Is the Children's Advocacy Center, and won an award there being a volunteer. So that was a while ago. I love giving back and helping out the community in that way.
And so what does community mean to you? A small community like this, not exactly small, but it's smaller than on a large scale. What does a community like this and what does being together like this in a community mean to you?
Yeah, the community means a lot because obviously this is where my kids are going to grow up, and the safety is very important. Knowing that the people are going to support each other is very, very important as well. And I think it's how we're going to survive as a community, or as a species of people who are living all together. It's very important that we get along.
Being together, and can we talk about the 18-24 age range? Because that's really what the premise of this show is about. Do you have any views on the 18-24 age range in this community specifically?
Right, yeah. So it's a very important group because they are our future generations. And so without their buy-in, if you will, into what we're trying to do for them, I think that this is going to be a lost moment, so that they can actually thrive and they can actually grow up and be successful and have a future that they'll be happy with.
And how do you plan to support that? I will talk about this more later, but in just a short summary, how do you look at that group and their problems?
Sure, yeah. So it's interesting because one of my clients is a professor at UIC, and we sometimes have these conversations about how the kids are doing with their courses and their tests and all these things that they have to go through for the future, right? And jobs, if there's going to be any jobs that because of AI and all these things that are happening now. But it's important that they see that there's going to be opportunity for them. I think that they want to see that we are making decisions and policies and rules and laws so that they can thrive in the near future, whether it be jobs or opportunities in the economy and such like that. That's very important for them to know that we're out there for them.
And I've had this question a couple of times. You talk about making those policies, making those jobs, and making those changes. I had someone ask me, what does a state representative actually do?
Yeah.
Can you give me a short summary?
Sure.
Yeah.
We basically create new laws and rules to help the community or help people in the 18-24, for example, to be able to succeed in health, with their health care, for example, succeed in their jobs, economy, and education as well.
And so how does that differ from like congressmen? How does it differ from larger scale positions?
Well, we all kind of play a role in supporting each other. I think that there is a little compromise here and there, obviously, because they may be impacting more of a bigger group or population, but I want to focus in on the local area.
And what do you think the most pressing issue in this local area is right now?
The biggest one, I think taxes is big.
Taxes,
Property
okay.
taxes. If there's one thing that I've noticed people do complain about, it's property taxes.
Property tax, okay.
And then in addition to that, probably crime, I think, is a big one too.
Crime, okay.
Yeah. And schools.
Schools. Hey, I know there's a bunch of wonderful schools around the area. I attended one myself, and we got to ask, when you look at those schools, you look at that crime, you look at those property taxes, what does someone with a background as a fitness trainer have to do to be able to fix that?
Sure, yeah. I feel like my mindset is always, how do I solve a problem? Whether someone comes to me and say they want to lose weight, for example, how do I create a path, a solution, so that we can achieve that outcome? That's really how I see my approach to crime or property taxes. I just want to fix the problem.
How do you create a macro calorie sheet for property taxes, for education?
But obviously I look at it as like that's a good point. A macro sheet of like, what are my data points? What are my issues that I have to acknowledge? And how can I correct those issues so that we can come up with a solution?
I think that's a perfect stopping point before we get into your actual solutions for those issues. And we talk about those issues impacting not only the community, but the 18 to 24 age range.
Sure.
Be right back after a small break where I figure out something to plug in the next 20 seconds. Found what I wanted to plug, and it's a way to reach me. It's a contact email for With the Mic, and if you have any questions, queries, qualms, comments, concerns, in other words I can't think of off the top of my head, please send them here to this email. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show, please also reach out. I'd love to have you, and I'd love to figure out a way to make that work. Now let's get back to the second part of this episode with Eric Sue. Welcome back after the break, and now we're getting to my favorite part of the show, the issues in the 18 to 24 age range. And before we get anywhere, I do have to introduce them to not you. I couldn't find any photos of you in that age range, but I did find a photo from you 20 years ago, kind of doing some push-ups and repping some stuff out for the first time as a trainer.
I do remember this vaguely, but very, very crystal clearly now.
Very, very crystal clearly now. I had to go back. I had to do a deep dive for that one. But can you tell me a little bit about you starting out as a trainer? You starting out on a new endeavor and how you're going to start out on a new endeavor here as a politician.
Yeah. It was quite interesting. I actually went to Purdue, actually wanting to get into physical therapy.
Very cool.
And so kind of similar to personal training, but there was a summer of an internship that I did for physical therapy that really like made me rethink about this path, right? The physical therapy path. And I was like, maybe I should try something else. And personal training was more dynamic, more interesting. So I was like, I should try that. And I never looked back once I made that decision. And I created a company called Goality that turned into a small fitness studio. And I wanted to meet more people, help more people, change people's lives. And that was the path I took.
And so that sounds very much like what a politician is trying to do. And any politician that wants to change lives and change the system, I think is the mission statement, at the very least. But let's get down to the brass tacks and get down to the point of the segment, what the issues affecting the 18 to 24 age range. So you think about yourself in that group and you think about yourself now and those issues. I don't have the budget for a bigger whiteboard, but would you mind 1 through 9, we'll take a couple minutes here, and rank your top issues, just yourself, not even thinking about the 18 to 24 age range, and we'll talk about those issues, but just go 1 through 9. What do you think?
So this is for the...
All your top 9 issues that you
Top
want
9.
that you want to address as a candidate. Mm-hmm. Get some Jeopardy music going on, or you can walk us through it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell right now, but this man has immaculate handwriting, and so it's going to make it a lot easier. Cue the end of the break. We're here with the top 9 issues from Eric Sue. We've got taxes, education, crime, women's rights, AI, data centers, teachers' rights, pensions, and bears ? We talking about like the wildlife or the team?
The team.
Okay, I haven't seen an actual real life bear in a while besides Brookfield Zoo, not too far from us. So I'm glad. I hope they're doing okay. Otherwise, but Matthew, give me a number. 7. Elliot, give me a number. 4. Talking 4. We're talking 7. And Mr. Sue, if you wouldn't mind giving me a number.
1.
1. All right, I knew why you did that. You're not slick. You're not getting anything past me. So we have all these issues, but in the essence of time, I wanted to talk about just 3 random ones that we can just really get into the depths of for your plans of and what your overall views on them are. So taxes, women's rights, and teachers' rights were the 3 chosen for this segment. And so taxes, number 1 issue for you on the board, but can we talk about how that's not only an issue for you in this community, but an issue for the 18 to 24 age range?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that taxes cause is a lot of financial stress, right? The other issue is like it causes that group, the 18 to 24-year-olds, to rethink about home ownership as well, because property taxes are a big chunk of the issue, because when things are too expensive, that age group rethinks whether or not they're going to be a homeowner or a renter, right? And so if we don't correct it now, there's going to be a issue that's going to be down the road when they're 18, but they're also going to be down the road when they're 24, for example. So that's a big issue.
I love to use the survey from Tufts and the Circle Center about what those issues are ranked for the 18 to 24 age group, and the rising cost of affordability and housing were two of the top three for that group. What experience and what data do you have that would actually allow you to fix the problem and allow you to address taxes in a factual way?
Sure. There's a lot of creative new ideas I think that could be brought up in the legislation so that new tax laws and new tax revenues can be generated so that we can offset that burden from these homeowners who want to buy houses or people who want to buy homes. So I think that's really the push that I want to be able to, or at least give that idea out there so that we can reconsider what we're doing.
Can you give us a little bit of, can you be more specific about what one of those new ideas may be and what an implementation would look like?
Off the top of my head, I can think of one, which is trying to, how would you say, reduce the burden from all the levies that the schools are trying to create so that we don't have to raise taxes on us, homeowners, to cover those levies. I think that's one of the avenues that we need to explore so that the burden isn't so much on the taxpayers.
And so, because it's a hot topic issue in today's society, what are your thoughts on raising taxes on billionaires in the upper 1% class?
So it's an interesting question because we want businesses to come into Illinois.
Right.
And taxing all these companies out of the state is not really a smart idea. So I do like the idea of having some type of progressive tax so that they don't think that they're overtaxed. But I do want to stress that we need businesses here so that we can give the 18, 24-year-olds jobs so that they can thrive.
And so we've played around with it. We've mentioned it before in the earlier segment, but the Chicago Bears. Mm-hmm. Can you talk about maybe what your thoughts are on that plan and maybe give me a short summary of maybe how you would address that tax issue and those tax breaks?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm all for job creations because without jobs, there's no revenue that's being created here, right? And with the future of entertainment and all these opportunities for tourism as well, we're losing that when we don't have a Bear Stadium in Arlington Heights, for example. We lose all that. And how do we take the burden off of taxpayers? Well, we definitely need the Bears to chip in more. Definitely need them to provide a little bit more support so that we can reduce the burden on the taxpayers at the same time.
Very fair. And I think that anything else you want to say about the issue of taxes, anything that's really at the top of your head about how you want to address that issue?
I think that the current legislators are maybe thinking that taxes are helpful and supportive and such, but we need to rethink on how we can create a system where it's not all solely on the homeowners to fit the bill. Because like the other day we were canvassing, we ran into someone who was upset that they had to pay so much for a school system. I forget which one it was, but their kids are not even involved. They're not even involved. And it's so ridiculous that they have to pay so much. And I think that's unfair, and I feel that's unfair too. So we need to restructure how we're taxing in general. And
so especially with two young kids already here, we saw them before, but that schooling system is a huge crux for you in today's society.
For sure, yeah.
Well, if you wouldn't mind going to the second issue, I think we're ready to transition into women's rights, which was ranked 4th for you, and according to the national survey, it's ranked 8th for issues in the 18 to 24 age range. What are your thoughts on women's rights in today's society, and what do you think the main problem is with how it's addressed?
Right, yeah. Women's rights need to be a little bit more, how would you say, talked about. Obviously, my wife just recently, because of her giving birth to 2 of my kids, she's recently had this medical issue, and so she had to go see the gynecologist, right?
Right.
But she was not able to actually go for another month or two, which was weird because there's, I don't know, the system is so rigged, I think, sometimes. So, but she was able to connect with the doctor directly and get a special appointment. I think we need to be able to create a program or something so that these women can get their needs taken care of more quickly. I think that's really significant because without that, I think, women are very important in society. So that's
Absolutely.
really important.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really hope, is your wife okay?
Yeah, she's
okay now?
going to get better after our surgery, yes.
Wonderful. I'm glad to hear that, truly. I know that women's reproductive health and women's health overall is one of the least researched medical fields in today's scientific world. And you as a biology major obviously have a background with that. What does that mean to you to be able to try and affect some change in that issue? And what would you try to do in this community to make sure that's more researched and more advocated for?
I really think that more support actually should be created, new programs, whether it be mobile, whether it be telehealth or something like that, to really give people an opportunity to get the health they need, regardless of health insurance, by the way.
Do you have any connections, any data, any plans that you could give us a little bit of insight to as to how you'd support that issue?
Off the top of my head, not really, but it's a good idea. I think that we can support women in any way we can. Obviously, health is very important to me as a fitness trainer. I see it all the time. Women who are not only overweight but have medical issues, we'll say, and I'm there trying to figure out how I could get them back to a physical health that they're happy with.
All right then. And I have another hot topic issue, abortion. It's been widely debated, and reproductive rights as a whole has been through the ringer in this last year in the system. Can you talk to me about your stance on abortion? And I know you've had a word on it in your website, but in your own words, what's your stance?
Due to my wife's experience, I'm really pro-choice. Right. I really actually think that women have the power to, decide what they want to do with their own bodies, and I think that's the right path that we should be going down. Nobody should be controlling that. Women should have the rights.
I think you'll find there's a large population that agrees with you, but I do have to ask, you're a Republican candidate.
Yep.
That's not really a view that the Republican side holds on a larger level. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. Well, that's an issue that doesn't have to be a Republican or Democrat thing.
Okay.
It is really more about how you feel about a person's life.
Fair. Yeah. That's very fair. Yeah. Can we talk about another set of rights as we had your 7th issue teachers' rights?
Yeah.
And so we're transitioning away from health, but into economic, into workplace, everyday lives of teachers.
Right.
What is your stance on teachers' rights, and what is your main problem there?
I feel like the teacher unions, for example, are really struggling only because they get backlash from politicians or whoever, and they're getting it. I don't know, the short end of the stick sometimes, due to whether they want to have better pay, better schedules, better pensions, whatever you want to talk about. I think teachers are very vital for the future of our country, and so that they need the most support, all the support they need, or they could get to be as productive as they can.
And so you previously mentioned your professor client over at UIC. Any other connections you have with teachers? Any issues you're really hearing from the source of the teachers that you'd say are being affected right now by the union and other issues?
Yeah, I can only speak about my client who is a professor, but I hear almost daily about how she enjoys her profession. She enjoys working with the kids. That's her passion, and that's what she wants to do. But at the same time, there's a lot of bureaucracy that happens. Her chancellor or her dean or whoever who give backlash to certain aspects because they want to play political games, right? But we really need to support these teachers because they do a lot of work. I can tell you firsthand that because of my client, she tells me a lot that she works hard. She really does, and I believe it. And these teachers really need the support to get the outcomes that we're all looking for.
I have to shout out all my teachers. Without them, I wouldn't be here interviewing you or doing any of what I do. So teachers are very vital to the system that we were in, and they obviously affect that 18 to 24 age range.
For sure.
And so trying to make that connection from teachers to that age range, what do you think the benefit is to 18 to 24-year-olds with that system of teachers?
Yeah, I think we need to give these kids the confidence that our teachers are really looking out for their benefit, as opposed to the universities just as being a money grab, if you will. And some schools are not so good, some schools are great. We all know that, right? But we need to support these teachers so that these 18 to 24-year-olds know that we have a system that's for them.
And so I think that is the 3 points we had for right now, but I want to give you the floor. I want to give you, out of these issues that we have not hit so far, is there anyone you really want to touch on right now for the next couple minutes?
There's two, actually.
There's two?
Yeah, there's two.
You want to flip a coin real quick for it?
Sure.
I said that I don't have a coin. We'll use this marker. The magnetic eraser's heads. Wow, they both have a magnetic eraser. All right. Well, it's great. And in lieu of not having a coin, I'll have to bring that for next interview. But just go through the two. What are the two that you want to go through?
Yeah, I want to talk about AI for a second.
Absolutely. And I do have to ask, because I was researching your entire campaign. I did see a lot of AI usage, a lot of AI imagery, and I saw an AI podcast, which I listened all the way through. What is your view on AI stance? What is your view on the AI stance and the AI usage in today's society?
For sure, yeah. I think it's here to stay. That's for number one. It's here to stay. I think we can agree that without it, human species, we won't be evolving. We probably will be in the Stone Ages, if you will. And similar to when the 2000s happened with the internet boom, right. I think a lot of people were skeptical about it. But look at us now. We're thriving, right? And the AI is just another extension of that boom, if you will. And I really think that people need to embrace it versus try to push it away. Ultimately, pushing it away is, in my opinion, a backwards thinking. Because with AI, I think we save time, we are more efficient. We can put someone on the moon now, maybe in the next few years. So that's even awesome, right?
Well, we did put people on the moon without AI, but how would that is true. How would AI help? I mean, I think I view AI personally as a tool, right. And there's a lot of companies that you view AI as a replacement. How do you view AI in the larger workplace besides just saving time?
Right. It is true that AI can replace a lot of redundant type of work for sure, but at the same time, I think AI helps us be more creative, and so that's really the other side of the coin, right? And AI is just, like I said, another moment in time that we need to remember. We had the internet boom. This is a AI boom that we need to hold on to so that we don't get afraid of it, but we need to embrace it.
And so you say hold on to it, but obviously there's been a lot of discourse over data centers across the nation, the water usage, and how AI is affecting companies and affecting the workplace. How would you view AI in this community and AI as a topic overall besides, I mean, you've addressed it as a topic overall, but AI in this community, how could it affect the House District 21?
Yeah. I don't know if a data center here in this district would be a good thing, honestly. Data centers need to be a little bit, how would you say, created more friendlier.
Friendly, okay.
They're necessary, but
they're necessary. Okay, so
they're very necessary.
Friendly, but need to be friendlier.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. I see all these stories on the news regarding communities who are so anti-data center due to pollution, due to noise, due to whatever it is. It's so anti. And on one hand, I'm like, what if we said yes, right? What if we said yes? What if? What's the outcome of that answer, right?
Right.
We don't know it until we say yes.
Okay.
But right now, we don't have it. and we already know when we don't have it, what it is, what we're living, right? What are we living? We're living in a life that's maybe not the best, but it could be better if we say yes.
Okay.
Right?
And so just to maybe summarize what you're saying there, even with those cons of pollution and noise, and I've heard of higher electricity bills as a common topic, you're saying that those risks right now, what we know, are probably could be worth it because of what data centers could implement when they're fully here.
That's basically what I'm trying to say, I guess.
Yeah. Trying to get there. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to say about AI? Or is that kind of everything you want to touch on with that issue?
As far as the 18 to 24-year-olds, I know they use it.
They
use it. So they embrace it, I feel.
Can confirm.
Yeah, they embrace it. And so I think the winners in this moment will be like similar to the winners in the internet era, where they embraced it and created new things and created opportunities. And so if the 18 to 24-year-olds did the similar, had a similar approach, I think that's really where the winners will be.
Right now I know most of the 18 to 24s use AI for homework, sadly. As I can tell from my lecture halls at university. But what was the second issue you wanted to transition into? I know you have the second one you want to talk about?
Yeah, the crime.
Crime.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crime.
What is your view on crime in this area, and what is your view on crime as a state representative candidate?
For sure, yeah. Crime really is, including ICE, I think, is part of that whole picture, I think. But
sorry to interrupt you. When you say including ICE, what do you mean in that standpoint?
Well, ICE is a department that's supposed to get rid of the worst of the worst, right?
Right.
And that's the whole thing of improving crime. Unfortunately, they kind of, in my opinion, fallen short of trying to get the worst out of the worst, and they've crossed the line, I think, in terms of who they've approached and how they've apprehended people going into courthouses and such like that. When they're trying, these people are really trying to just do the process, right, and get their papers in line and try to become citizens, right? So I think they've really crossed that line in terms of that point. But in general, crime, I think, has to be on people's minds, because someone I was talking to on canvassing said that down the street they had someone who was assaulted, and they need more police patrolling and stuff like that, and so that people feel more safe in their communities. I think that's really the big issue here.
And so what's the line for you with creating more enforcement with the police, but also trying to create a sense of community and making sure that it doesn't feel like there's too much there?
Sure, yeah. That's a good fine line between those two, because obviously you want people to feel safe in their communities,
right,
and at the same time not be, feel like there's too much presence. The other day, someone, I forget who it was, told me that they like the idea of people or police officers around the block, watching the streets and such, but they felt a little weird that there were so many the police officers around at the same time, which is ironic. But anyhow, being able to walk around the neighborhood without being afraid of something happening, I think is really important.
I agree. I do like our neighborhoods here, and I do like being able to walk around.
Yeah.
It's a good time to have a walk, and I think it's a great time to walk on over to the third segment as to how you want to lead these neighborhoods and how you want to be as a state representative candidate. So we'll talk about that in the third segment right here. Thank you so much for talking about those issues, and we'll probably address them a little bit more right after a small break. If you've been wondering what survey I've been using when talking about the issues with the 18 to 24 age range, it's this one you're seeing on your screen by the Circle Center. I think it's great. It's been helping me out with my questions for candidates, framing my context for those issues when we talk about them in interviews like these. So check them out, show them some support, and let's get back to the final section with Eric Sue right now. Back here for the third and final segment with Mr. Sue. I just want to talk about your race as a whole. And from my perspective, it kind of feels like you're facing an uphill battle. You're going against an incumbent, and in the primaries, you got about 7,000 less votes than Mr. Rashid in those elections. And so what is your perspective, and what does your upcoming battle look like to you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's true that I only got about 1,000-something votes. But
don't say only 1,000. It's a lot of people.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. I would say that if I had ran against him as a Democrat, I think I would have been crushed.
Okay.
So no one would have known who I am, and I would not have been on the ballot for November 3rd. So that's the big issue.
Can I ask,
Yeah.
if you thought you had a chance to run as a Democrat, would you have run as a Democrat?
Probably not.
Oh, no? Okay.
Probably not. But I really feel that my uphill battle really is just getting my name out there. I think that's the big point. One of the things that I knew going into all this was that, yes, there's a lot of Democrats in this community, for sure.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like there's a lot of people who are nonpartisan. And I think that people really are voting for the person as well as their ideas. And so hopefully that comes through, right? Especially the 18 to 24-year-olds who are trying to come up with a decision of who would be the best person to represent them, right?
Right.
And if anything, I hope that they see that my ideas can resonate with them. My ideas are consistent with trying to make our community stronger, make our community safer, and hopefully that what I say they can believe.
And so you kind of answered my question a little bit here, but my next question for you was going to be, November 3rd comes along, people are looking between your name and Representative Reed's on the ballot. What makes you think that you're the person they should check that box next to?
Yeah, for sure. First thing I would say is just look at their current lives and see whether or not with that person in the seat now, has their lives improved,
Okay.
right? That's all I can compare what or how they should be making the decisions.
And so we've already talked throughout the rest of this episode about how your view is on those different aspects of people's lives. But what makes you confident that you think you can improve the people in this community's lives better than your opponents?
For sure, yeah. The main thing here is that I want them to know that I'm a real person here that has lived in this community for almost 10 years, and I've experienced what they've experienced, and I see what they're going through because I live it too. And so hopefully that I can communicate that and they can see that as well.
And so we talked about you, obviously being in the community, being a small business owner, being a trainer, and being a family man as we are here in your family house. What do you think resonates the most with the people in this community, and what do you think that your greatest strength is to run as a candidate?
I think that not only being a family person here, I think that they can trust me because I'm in the community, I'm coaching my kids in their soccer games, I'm coaching in their basketball games, I'm a part of this community, and hopefully they can see that I'm trying to improve it.
Okay, and I mean, coaching kids is great. I think some of the best mentors are coaches because they know what needs to change and they know how to grow our system. What do you think is the biggest piece of advice for this community, and how do you think it should change?
Yeah. You're talking about what I should, or
Well, yeah, to rephrase, like, hey, imagine like this community is a young kid, a young soccer team, and you got a star player out here that's trying to get better. What is your piece of advice to this community as it tries to get better and tries to move on in today's modern society?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing would be like the community here as a whole is very welcoming. It's very friendly as well, and everyone who comes here, they can feel safe that people are going to help you out if you need it, and there's not going to be a lot of how would you say talking behind people's back and creating rumors and such like that. I think that's really important.
And so I know we talk about this community. There is a lot of massive high schools from the Illinois area here, Chicago suburb high schools with 18-year-old seniors, and then also college kids coming back to their families. So that 18 to 24 age range. What is your message to them as you run for a candidate in this community?
Yeah, I think the big thing here is that I hope that they can see that I want to support them. I want to give them opportunities, new opportunities that help them with their education, whether it be going to college or continuing in a local college or whatever. But something like that is something I would really want to stress to them, as well as helping them with economics, giving them business opportunities, creating new ventures for them, and programs that support them.
And so, can you talk about a program that you had mentioned on your website, the Department of Happiness?
Yeah.
I thought it was neat. I thought
Yeah.
it was a nice read through. Can you talk to me a little bit more in depth about that and what your vision is for that plan?
Sure, yeah. So it's not really a idea that I came up for myself or by myself, actually. I was speaking to someone a while back ago, and they lived in the UAE.
Okay.
And they were talking about how there was a department called the Department of Happiness. And I was like, pretty interesting. But their whole main mission out there was to be able to create a community, a society, healthy, wealthy people. Okay. And so I thought that would be something that would be also be able to be put into place here to help people be healthy through programs, through initiatives, and support from the city to help people get active and stay healthy.
So, what do those programs look like to you? What do those initiatives look like to you?
Yeah, gym memberships are one of those things that limit people sometimes. Without gym memberships, sometimes people are not motivated to get out and walk or participate in fitness programs. So this whole idea would be, hey, we're going to open it up for people who want to be a part of this initiative so that they can get healthier without the burden of financial issues.
And so, are you saying that as a fitness trainer, or are you saying that as a candidate?
Both.
Or both.
Both.
Okay.
Yeah, both. I think that society right now has, I don't know, I would just say put their health on the back burner sometimes. I see all of these people who are overweight. I see these people who are not in shape and such. And I think if there was these initiatives and programs that are out there that people know about that aren't going to stress them out financially, I think that's going to help support them and getting into that health that they need to be in so that they can reduce the burden on the healthcare system and save us all a lot of money down the road.
So we talk about that system as a whole. We talk about what we're looking at on a broader political scale. And I know we're just here in Illinois as a state representative and what you're running for, but how can you give a little bit of hope to 18 to 24-year-olds looking at the system and looking at how kind of messed up it is?
Yeah. It is sometimes one of those things at that age I can remember where I probably wasn't engaged in the political system. I wasn't thinking what all these people are, decisions they're making affecting me, right?
Right.
But I can see my position being one that directly speaks to them because I want them to know I have little ones as well. I have one 6-year-old and one 4-year-old, and like 10 years from now, they literally will be in the same mindset as these 18 and 24-year-olds now. And I want to create something now for the future as well, but something now so that there's not going to be a financial burden or anything that worries them. So I want to be able to create that now.
I think that's admirable. I think looking into this system and trying to go make a positive change is always an admirable thing. And so when you set off after this interview, when you set off into November 3rd, what is your hopeful outlook for when that day comes?
Yeah. The thing I want people to realize is that I'm a real person here. I'm a dad, I'm a coach, I'm a father, a husband, and I'm a person in the community trying to make a difference. I want to fix what's broken. I want to improve a system that hasn't really worked for people in the last few years, in my opinion, especially in taxes, maybe education and healthcare. And definitely I want to be able to put a footprint in so that for the future generations, there's going to be hope for them.
Well, I agree. I agree that there should be hope for those future generations, and I thank you for sitting down to talk with us with the mic on those issues affecting the 18 to 24 age range in your upcoming race. Awesome. Thank you, sir, for your time.
Thanks, Mike.
Appreciate you inviting us into your family home. Lovely chairs here. And, yeah, your wife's French toast smelled amazing.
That's great.
So awesome. Catch you on the next one. Thank you so much for tuning in to With the Mic, and see you in the next episode.